Well, Dimitri, are you finally going to tell us the damn truth?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Didn't Lord Arundel say something about you and Edelgard being family?
Oh. Yeah, probably you should have told them like a long time ago, bro.
To claim that the king and the emperor are related. Could it be?
Ah, I suppose I never told you, though I do recall mentioning it briefly to the professor. Lord Arundel spoke the truth. My stepmother was Edelgard's birth mother. Political turmoil drove my stepmother out of the Empire. Father fell in love with her at first sight, and they married. I lost my birth mother before I was old enough to remember her. My stepmother filled that role for me.
Yeah.
But she lost her life in Dusker 9 years ago, along with Father.
Are you certain?
Hang on. I didn't even know she was your stepmother.
I imagine that was the point.
Did my father know about this?
Yes, all those who were close to my father knew, including Rodrigue. But to speak openly about it would have caused a scandal.
Yeah.
And so she was our secret. No one in the general public knew about her.
Did your father not know who she was before he married her?
Naturally, the fact that Edelgard and I are step-siblings was kept a secret as well.
I'm finally beginning to understand what you went through 5 years ago.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know that, then I could see you being like, what's going on?
I mean, Edelgard is the only family you have left, isn't she?
Wow, I never even thought about it like that.
To find out someone so precious to you is actually your most hated enemy. How heartbreaking.
But wait, you two were born and raised in 2 different territories, right?
And yet,
So you probably never met until you were both at the academy.
well, no, they did meet before under, you know, I guess different names or something. But Edelgard doesn't remember.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think the idea of fighting family is just about the worst thing ever.
But they're not family in the truest sense of the word.
But hopefully the fact that she's a stepsister who you never really knew helps with the pain?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just a thought.
It's a fair thought, though Dimitri does care for her.
I'm afraid that's not the case.
Yeah.
Though it was only for a short time, Edelgard once called Ferdiad home.
Home?
It was a long time ago, but she was a cherished friend of mine.
Wait, I remember now. She was that girl, wasn't she?
Yeah.
The one you gave a dagger to.
Yeah.
So, your little girlfriend was Edelgard.
Bruh! Of course you'd say that, Sylvain.
Sylvain, if you have any more foolish things to say, please hold them for later.
Yeah, not the time, bruh.
I do have a few more up my sleeve, but they can wait. Go on, Your Highness. This is important for us to hear.
Yeah.
She may be a hated enemy now, but the Emperor is your old friend and your stepsister. Can you bring yourself to kill her?
I mean,
I will kill her, if I must.
he's been saying that for a while, but now he has a lot less of a reason to. Though I still argue, you know, for the war, for his people, you know.
But if there is any chance that the world she seeks to create could be a just one, then I would love to see a future in which I may reach out my hand for her and have her reach back.
And if you all are wondering what I'm thinking of that, I agree. I agree.
That said, I have no intention of letting my personal feelings cloud my judgment. Too much is at stake.
The difference, there's a big difference between the Edelgard we first, in the Golden Deer route versus the Edelgard in this route. I actually think they've done less to paint her as a villain. In the Golden Deer route, there was a lot more, and also Dimitri had died, and I had taken out like so many other students. And this one, no one's died yet. No one's died yet.
Your Highness, I think you should meet with the Emperor and at least try to talk to her.
I think that's not such a bad idea, especially since she's injured.
If there's any hope of ending this war without more bloodshed, we have to try. Besides, killing your own family, I'm sorry, but it's not right.
But I don't think she'd do that at this point in time. She might think it's a trick.
I think so too. And you are right that we should at least try.
But I like that, Dimitri. Let's talk, man. Let's just talk.
I see. So my uncle's defeat is beyond doubt?
And speaking of...
Yes, Your Majesty. I have confirmed it via countless channels. I advise that we accept this as a drop of joy amid a pool of sorrow.
Dadgum!
Pretty words, but I'm afraid we can't rest until the joy outweighs the sorrow.
With that gone, y'all are savage.
And for that to happen, it now seems we must confront them all at once.
You know, I just realizing I haven't really seen Edelgard or Hubert in a cutscene. It hits different. This is a different person I'm looking at.
Dimitri, who took back Ferdiad. Claude, who managed to protect the Alliance. And that professor, who is successfully mobilizing the Knights of Seros.
What will you do, Your Majesty?
Peace? Edelgard? Peace. It's over.
Pull back our forces. In the west to Orion Road. In the east to...
Fort Mercius, I presume.
Okay.
There is no better place for such a confrontation, after all.
Well...
Indeed. And dispatch the Death Knight to guard it.
Oh, yeah.
He can buy us some time.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys.
They are enemies. Slaughter them all. I will not say it again.
I don't have time for this!
Report! The Death Knight is moving. It looks like they're abandoning the fortress and making an escape.
That map, we pulling the same. That's the map I was saving that maneuver for. If there's no special thing, no, like, dialogue, special dialogue, I'm ending it quickly.
In the meantime, I will...
Forgive me, but I must speak bluntly. I do not agree with what you intend to do. Though slight, there is a chance that once done, it cannot be undone.
What the heck?
Even I cannot always choose the direction my path leads me. There is no other way. And so, I must walk on.
I was assuming that most of this wasn't your choice. What's going on? Unless she's talking about the axe. I heard a theory about that. If it's never confirmed what Edelgard does, then I still say she took parts of Rhea to make that axe.
Part 2.
Okay, we're going
Azure
back here.
Moon.
Okay.
Blue Sea Moon. The impregnable fortress.
It'll be a quick battle.
When Claude steps down as its leader, the Leicester Alliance disbands, and its lords swear fealty to the Holy Kingdom of Fargus. The chaos in the kingdom begins to dissipate as the people unite under Dimitri's rule.
Yeah, if you find out the Alliance is under
Riding
him...
this momentum, the Kingdom Army prepares to march south for a decisive battle against Imperial forces.
I mean, honestly, just looking at it... Well, Claude said the Alliance is no more. So that would mean that their forces are in disarray. But my only question is, there's one thing that hasn't been addressed that I'm hoping... Nah, sorry, Casper, not now.
We will finally have our decisive battle with the Empire this month.
Decisive?
The Eastern Lords are in the process of consolidating all of the troops within the entire kingdom. There are still some lords in the west who side with the Empire, but I believe it is only a matter of time before they surrender.
Yeah, like, give it up, guys. It's over.
Affairs within the kingdom have calmed down considerably, and we even managed to win over the Alliance.
Although it was a rough go at first, I'm starting to feel like we could actually win this.
That's true. Thinking back on it now, we've really come a long way.
We even have a lead as to where Rhea is located. It is as we predicted all along.
Yeah.
If we are to rescue Rhea, then we must defeat the Emperor. If we're going to march from the monastery to Inbar, then we'll have to cross the Great Bridge of Myrddin again, right?
What are you thinking?
Yes, I believe so. As we have gained the Alliance's support, we should not have any trouble this time.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue.
After the bridge, we can cross Gronder Field and head south. And then we'll take Mercius, the so-called impregnable fortress that towers on the other side.
Oh, don't worry. I got a plan, Dimitri. It's gonna be over in one turn.
Fort Mercius is praised as the strongest in the Empire. Count Burgleys, the Empire's Minister of Military Affairs, once had troops stationed there. But according to our spies, a large-scale military force has entered the stronghold.
No prob.
Perhaps they are gathering soldiers from various regions to compensate for their losses.
As long as we get Lysithea in there, that's all we gotta do. Should we try to avoid it?
If we try to avoid it, those troops will follow us and attack from the rear. It is best for us to handle the situation head-on.
I agree.
Once we take Fort Mercius, Enbar will be within reach. This is the Empire's last chance to stop us from arriving at our goal.
Yeah.
In other words, if we take this fort, then our blades will be at the Emperor's throat in no time.
If this is the last fort between us and them, then the Emperor will likely do everything she can to strengthen its defenses.
I just received a report on that very subject. The one commanding the troops stationed at Fort Mercius is someone we have crossed blades with many times.
Although this is Mercedes' brother.
It is the Death Knight who awaits us there.
Oh, so that's who we'll be battling.
Yeah.
Emil.
So even without the paralogue, she says this? Did I have to do... Well, I think I'd have to do the paralogue before this point. I can't remember. Either way. Battle. Only 3 left. And I have to do them all. Okay, so then I'm wondering about this one. Because I would need Rhea. But yet I can't get Rhea till we go to the Empire. So what gives? How is she a unit then? Is this impossible to do on this map or route? Well, I mean, I'm gonna at least try it, you know? If it's, I mean, it's been unlocked for all this time. Either way. Mission well done. By any chance, is she... No. Helda's not here. Okay, well. It's a shame. But at least I know she's safe. And that's what matters. She and Claude. Dorothea, you really like this spot, huh?
Incredible. The Leicester Alliance is no more. 300 years of history. Gone and done.
Well, that's a way to look at it.
They write operas about events like this, you know? Dimitri will be played by the most handsome actor of the time. Hearts will pound as he takes the stage.
I see.
What am I saying? Surely the most handsome man would play you.
Not exactly the best time for that conversation, Dorothea. Hannah Man.
Fort Mercius is the Empire's single most fortified military installation. Utterly impregnable, they say.
And give me Lysithea.
I wonder, do you happen to know the nickname given to Fort Mercius?
It's been a while, I forgot.
Indeed, a very good answer. But of course, you'd know that.
So what's the Silver Maiden? Oh, it's the Silver Maiden's the one for the Kingdom. Fodlan's Locket for the Alliance. Huh.
Seems Fodlan's give everyone and everything a nickname.
Yeah.
Why, you were called the Ashen Demon.
I'm just now realizing that.
Myself, I have been called the Father of Crestology, which is a nickname as well as a title, I suppose.
All right. Manuela.
Each step closer to Enbar, I'm reminded of another part of my past. Riches and poverty, glory and failure. That city has it all. And if I'm honest, sometimes I miss it. That's how the past works, though, isn't it? It's always a different story than what you really lived.
Yeah. Almost wonder if it's like a kind of grass is greener on the other side kind of thing.
It appears that Claude has dissolved the Alliance.
Yeah.
He's thrown away the pride of all the Leicester lords who have walked the path of independence from Fargus for generations.
Well, wasn't much he could do.
I said from the start that he was not suitable to lead.
But even you.
Well, times have changed, haven't they? I suppose we can trust the kingdom now.
That's true. You joined us, man. Come on now, Lawrence.
Claude has stepped down from leadership, and Leicester is now a vassal state of Fargus. The lords of the Western Kingdom are beginning to declare fealty to us in greater numbers also. The Empire is our only remaining enemy.
As it should have been from the beginning. Though, you know, not necessarily the Leicester under us, but...
From this point onward, we're in all-out war with the Empire. Are you prepared, Professor?
Yeah. Are you?
I have already steeled myself as best I can. First, we capture Fort Mercius. The fighting will undoubtedly be brutal, but we must prevail. As far as this army and I are concerned, you're our last ray of hope. We are relying on you.
Well, I do what I can. I most certainly do what I can. Wait a minute. I really got his bow, though. Dang. I'm glad he's okay, but still it is bittersweet.
The Death Knight. I shudder to think of him.
Oh, by the way, the biggest reason why I thought that the Black Eagles would separate from Edelgard is right here. Because amongst all the other stuff, I'm pretty sure the Death Knight works under her, and he kidnapped Flame and got Monica inside the school, the monastery. How on earth could Flame, knowing Edelgard played a role in her capture, go with her? You know, like that's like she was captured for like a good month.
Professor, you remember my connection to him, do you not?
Yeah.
I am still working through the trauma from back then. All these years later.
See, like that isn't. It doesn't make sense. So.
If we meet him, I swear I will have my revenge.
I wonder if you have voice lines to him. That'd be interesting.
Fort Mercius is a keep that was constructed to defend the imperial capital, Enbar. We cannot enter the capital without first capturing that fort. But once we have it, the city should be almost entirely at our mercy.
Yeah.
Now that we know Rhea is there, we must move with the utmost urgency.
Gilbert?
Even in the kingdom, only a few people knew about His Highness and Edelgard's relationship. Me? I always knew those two to be like brother and sister. To think that we would come to see this world, where they are at war with one another. I live it, and can still barely imagine such a truth. I have a request.
Well, it's hard for me to look at them as siblings even now, because most of them I've thought of,
well,
when I think of Dimitri and Edelgard, I've been thinking about how one wanted to kill the other. So, it sucks that Hilda can't join us. I even talked with her and everything. My subordinate is down because they failed a recon mission. Okay. She liked that. Where you at, Lysithia? Over here.
Perhaps.
You beast.
Something about Lord Arundel rubbed me the wrong way. There was something off about him.
I would ask if she had a line, but we know that.
Not that I've ever heard anything good about him. Have you ever heard of the Harun family?
Vaguely.
Correct. Their lands are due south of the Ordelia territory. Since Edelgard's rule, Lord Arundel had been governing the territory. It seems like his reign was particularly cruel. The people there suffered greatly under him. He seemed to be a good and just person at one point. It simply doesn't make sense.
What, is he in the Garthen too? Sheesh, now I'm thinking everybody's in the Garthen, man. You in the Garthen? You in the Garthen? Which could be true. Well, no, Edelgard said her uncle. She knows how Garthens work.
Well,
I think she'd know if they were them or not.
Now that the alliance has been dissolved, what will become of the nobility?
That's what I'm wondering. Are you worried?
No, my adoptive father knows how to get by. I'm sure he'll do well for himself in the kingdom. All of Fodlan is going to change. I suppose I'll have to change with it.
What in the world? I've never seen that one. I just wish Hilda could have joined us.
The majority is with us. This conflict will end soon. I am so moved by the decision that Claude and the Alliance nobles have made.
No, really?
That is true nobility, acting in accordance with the people's needs and wishes.
And so it is. I'm glad you agree, Ferdinand.
As war drags on, those living near the front lines inevitably get the worst of it.
Very true.
Still, Edelgard will not give in.
Mm-hmm.
She will push to complete her mission, no matter how many people die.
Mm-hmm.
Not everyone with noble blood has noble ideals.
Okay, we gotta talk. Alright. So, I actually did a video. Oh, I did many discussions after Ferdinand personally had talked. Where do I start? Or what am I gonna say? Basically, what do I want to say here? As I've mentioned before, a bunch of stuff about the Black Eagle route has been revealed to me by people trying to defend Edelgard. And obviously, now my reaction to that route isn't normal. Well, I mean, I'm doing a playthrough that's bound to happen, you know, but even still, I gotta inform you all. And from everything I have seen, I'll say this. One of the things that I saw, and I promise you I'm not trying to put this person under the bus. I'm not going to mention them. You know, I'm sorry I have to mention you, but I do have to mention you because I can't look at this stuff and not bring this stuff up. But they were saying how I thought or I knew how the Black Eagle route would go. And admittedly, I did have an assumption. See, when I have Ferdinand here, and like, what can be clearer? This man flat out disapproves of what Edelgard. He said what she's gonna do. She doesn't care. The people, like, he's basically echoing my mentality, and I've seen her in the Golden Deer route do exactly that. I was wondering if, you know, maybe I was misunderstanding the situation because of how many people like Edelgard, but Ferdinand, he's unhappy with it. And Ferdinand was one of the big people who, when we were in the pre-time skip, and I was saying that I felt like I needed to save the Black Eagles. Him specifically, if you remember his situation, he was saying he lost everything. What should he do? I'm not saying Edelgard brainwashed him. I'm saying he had no choice. He had no other option. He's a noble of the Alliance, or at least he was. Or, sorry, noble of the Empire. And it's like, it'd be a hard thing for him to betray his country, especially if he didn't have a support with me or anything like that, or any of the other people here. But if he was in the class, you know, if he knew Dimitri and knew everybody else, then it makes more sense why he's like, I don't approve, so I have another option that I can go towards. And basically, what I got from the impression with the conversation from this person, or it was a couple of people, but it was that if I had recruited everybody else, all the Blue Lions and Golden Deer members to the Empire, I might get some different perspectives on Edelgard. But how does one's perspective change this much? Right? Like, Casper's one thing, because I always thought Casper was, well, you know, I've said what I thought about Casper and his family. But Ferdinand, basically the same. You know, I feel like he's trying to regain his honor in whatever way he can. Though Petra is different, because if I go with Petra, then, well, honestly, all she says is that she's going to be defending Edelgard. She didn't necessarily say she agrees with me. Maybe she feels like she owes her for some reason. And honestly, like, can you blame, like, my whole thing is, it almost seems like I've been vilified, in a sense, by thinking the worst when it comes to Edelgard's point of view. But, like, when Ferdinand himself says this, it's like, can you blame me for thinking that the Black Eagle members truly didn't want to be there? Or rather, maybe it was their bond with Edelgard that made them there, and not necessarily that they thought they were doing the right thing, or, you know, there's a whole bunch of things I can think of. Well, let's continue on that way. What did the other Black Eagle members have to say? Oh, and, well, there's more I can say. There's so much I could say. Obviously, also, I could say what I've been spoiled on, but I feel like I should wait for that. I haven't been spoiled on anything with the Blue Lions, and I'm gonna keep it that way. So.
Death Knight. Going to fight the Death Knight.
You seem concerned.
To be perfectly honest, I am.
I understand why. He's your brother. Though I don't think he'll die in this battle, if history shows. But I don't even know if I'm gonna have Mercedes fight him, honestly.
I have a thought. So Lady Rhea was in the Empire all this time. Wish I'd known that 5 years ago. But there's nothing we can do about it now.
Well, what would you have done if you knew?
What we can do, though, is topple the Empire. Will you seize victory with us, Professor? For the sake of the late Captain.
You know it. Not just for him, but so many others as well.
Pardon me. I've come here after getting chased out of the Empire. There's no place for our kind there anymore.
Makes sense.
But there are still many inside Empire territory who haven't abandoned their faith in the Church of Seros.
Really?
I pray that one day we'll get the chance to rebuild the church within the Empire.
No comment on that quite yet. BLs?
So, I wonder where Claude will go. From the sound of it, he's leaving Fodlan altogether.
He's going to Elmira.
He was strangely gallant about the whole thing. Even left his relic behind.
Yeah.
Elusive and mysterious to the end, isn't he?
Just as we suspected, Lady Rhea was taken to the Imperial capital. We must get to the capital as quickly as possible. So many people are worried sick about her. I do wonder when Claude managed to learn Lady Rhea's whereabouts.
Yeah, I do too, because I was with them. We figured it out. Yeah, to be frank, Claude... Or did we just run up on Rhea? Actually, I forgot how we figured out Rhea was there.
He's pretty shrewd. I can't help but admire him.
Oh, really? Yeah, because you ended up marrying him in another lifetime, Ingrid. Oh.
The Archbishop has been taken to the Empire, just as we thought. But why hasn't Edelgard killed her yet?
That's a good question.
If she intended to use her as a hostage, she'd have publicly announced that she was unharmed. We don't know what the Emperor's intentions are. All we can do is fight on and pray the Archbishop is okay.
Honestly, the fact she got an axe...
Doesn't matter how sturdy to keep. If the commander defending it is incompetent, it can fall as easy as anything.
True.
That's what they say, at least. I wonder if that applies to Fort Mercius. All I know is, if I was the Emperor, I'd never in a million years assign an incompetent commander to a fort as important as that one.
Yeah, you signed the best of the best. And, cool to see Alliance members here. That's cool. I don't see Hilda, so it's like, what's the point? Or Judith.
Right.
But, you know, Judith wasn't gonna come to begin with. Dadgum Judith still not being a dadgum party member. Casper, I've been looking for you, because this is your map what's coming up.
Fort Mercius is next, huh? Ah, the memories.
Memories?
It's a huge stronghold in my father's domain.
Oh.
The town's completely surrounded by high walls.
You know, I didn't know. I was wondering who was I've heard it's been said, but, you know, I don't know Casper like that, so it's... Basically, yeah, that makes sense.
I used to run around there when I was a kid.
You did, huh?
Way back when a fortress was just a playground for me. Yeah, those were the days.
Wow, then that makes more sense. Why Casper changed his perspective so much. His father's still alive, I think. And the fortress is like a home to him. So he's like, no one can take this fortress. He's thinking of it like, yo, My family's been in charge of keeping this fortress safe. You are not gonna come and just take it. That makes sense.
Let's see. My family made it through the conflict unscathed. Thank the goddess.
Well, that's good.
It seems that Deirdre was the only place to really get caught up in the fighting. Did Claude intend to spare the Alliance territories from harm? If so, he's a truly admirable leader.
Yeah. Yeah. To be honest, the further this game goes, the more and more I'm wondering why is Claude third, darn it.
Speaking of Claude, I wonder where he is.
It's like this man didn't do nothing to nobody, and people like, yeah, you boring, bro. Get yourself your third place. Well, actually, like I said, I think it's because of the routes people chose and how they would normally go about it. If the developers, I'm pretty sure somebody confirmed to me that Edelgard's route was the most popular route. Though they also said that that was an old poll, I think. Still, I think it holds true. I've been seeing some new YouTubers play Fire Emblem Three Houses, and then I have to leave every time because they start Edelgard's route. I'm like, darn it, I gotta unsubscribe from you now. So, and trust me, I've got none of my spoilers have come from YouTube. Well, okay, the only thing I've seen from YouTube was when I forgot what it was, but somehow I ran across a thumbnail of Edelgard and Lysithea eating at a table. That is the way I deduced that they probably had a support with each other. That's the only thing I've actually been spoiled on as far as me myself. And in the grand scheme of things, it was not, like, it wasn't even confirmed, right? That was just a theory I had. Everything else I know from the comments. Everything else.
We defeated Lord Arundel. The Emperor must have been surprised.
I wonder about that.
If we can keep up that fervor, perhaps we'll capture Fort Merceus and move on to the Imperial capital. We must not be overconfident, though.
Yeah, you're right. Let's proceed with caution.
Yes, I concur. Humans and beasts are ultimately the same.
Huh!
When they're cornered, they'll lash out however they can. They fight for their lives.
Yeah?
Who knows how the Emperor will lash out? We have to be careful.
I know. And that is an interesting way of putting it, Felix.
We took quite the detour. It was time-consuming, but finally, we got the information we needed. We crush the Empire, we get Lady Rhea back. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Yeah, I know you're happy.
First, we take Fort Merceus. I'll put my heart in it. I'll crack him like a rusty helmet.
Calm down, Catherine. Calm down. But I appreciate your enthusiasm. What's up? Really? And I get a Master Seal? Felix, John, what's up? Oh, are you kidding me? Wait, what's he using? Oh, there we go.
You fought well.
Training sword. How do you get able to get 2 hits? I don't know. But you should have this. Does he have a shield? Wow. Oh, wow. Felix about to fall.
Hey.
How did Felix lose? And can someone explain that to me? How did Felix lose? Well, he missed. And honestly, that was a bogus roll. Yeah, the game cheated. That's how. I know this by now. The game had to cheat to get their way. Bernie.
I love a good fortress. The perfect place to hide.
Oh, really?
This one's impregnable too, isn't it? Perfect! As soon as we take it, I'll set up a special spot for Bernie.
I guess
guess you have a point. What would you call it then? A little pregnable?
I was trying to see which one wouldn't get her rank up. Wait, what's wrong?
Oh, Professor! Good timing. You have to talk some sense into my father.
What happened?
Recently, he's been doing nothing but work himself to the bone.
Oh, Annette? Pot me kettle?
Even when he's taking breaks from training and errands, he's apparently listening to reports, day in and day out. He's getting on in years, you know? I just want him to take care of himself.
I hear you. I hear you. I'll try to end this war quickly as possible for his sake. What?
We're finally going to attack the Empire? I'm actually getting a little nervous.
My boy, you shouldn't be out there.
Please defeat the Emperor and save Lady Rhea.
Okay.
I'll be waiting here with all of the necessary preparations for a huge celebration.
Well, yeah, that's what you should do. Sheesh, we are not having soldiers. Well, that's... wow. Okay. That wasn't much at all. And Hart?
Attacking an impregnable fortress head-on is rather impressive. Or suicidal. Depends on the day, really.
I hear that.
You know Fort Mercius's nickname, I assume. The stubborn old general?
Yeah.
It may be stubborn, but its age means it's gotta be hiding a few weak spots. Makes sense to aim for those areas.
It does. Good point. Cyril?
Is it true Lady Rhea was taken to the Empire?
Yeah.
Why'd they take Lady Rhea? Professor, they didn't take her to kill her, did they?
No.
That's good. We just gotta beat the Imperial Army and get her back, right? You gotta help her, Professor. I'm begging you.
Edelgard is still the biggest mystery to me. Oh, what are you two talking about?
Wake up, eat, train, eat, sleep. We gotta prepare for the assault, but that hasn't changed my routine.
You're doing plenty.
All that training and eating I do is for the sake of Fodlan. Gotta stay strong and fed to keep it safe.
Nothing about Claude, man?
Weren't the Kingdom and Alliance once part of the same country?
They were.
If you think about it that way, it makes sense for them to unite. I suppose the Kingdom was once part of the Empire as well.
It was.
Even if Fodlan came together, I wouldn't be surprised if it fell apart again.
Honestly, facts. That's kind of what I was thinking. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Here's an idea.
I was thinking, have you heard of the Crescent Moon War?
Mm-hmm.
That's when the Alliance won their independence from the Kingdom. Some 300 years ago, the ruling Duke of Leicester died without an heir. And the lords with blood ties to House Blythe took that chance to propose ruling the Leicester territory as a republic. The head of House Regan led the Leicester lords and fought fiercely with Farkas. They won independence from the kingdom. And now, here we are.
I remember.
The Alliance has really been disbanded? I never thought such a thing could happen. As long as it doesn't negatively impact our lives, I don't care much whether we're the Kingdom or the Alliance.
Oh, you're from the Alliance? And yeah, it shouldn't.
With the Empire destroyed, the borders within Fodlan will likely become a thing of the past. With that, the rules of trade will change. Personally, I'm excited to see what these changes will bring.
Should be interesting. Whoa, you look like Flash for a second.
I traveled to Kingdom territory because I was nearby. I did some good business. Apparently, supplies are needed to reconstruct the Kingdom capital and the surrounding towns.
Makes sense.
I wonder where I should go next.
Probably the Alliance, or, you know, what used to be the Alliance.
True. The Death Knight is guarding Fort Mercius.
Yeah.
The same one who was linked to Monica and to Flame's abduction 5 years ago. Anyway, he's one of the monsters responsible for Captain Gerald's death. We have to defeat him.
I don't really blame him for that. He wasn't even there. And darn it, Leone, I thought we were past this.
Professor? You know, Professor, laying siege to a keep is like asking a girl out on a date.
In what way?
First, you get past her defenses, then you make your move.
I'm sorry I asked. You might be right.
See, you get it. Our fearless leader, on the other hand, he's never been good with the ladies.
Yeah.
Anyway, I figure you go after the main gate. You take that out, and I'm sure we can win. Of course, you're making the tactical calls. I'm happier to follow than to lead.
I'll take any advice I can get. Alright? Being a leader means, you know, listening to all options and choosing which one you think is best.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report.
Alright.
Is it true that we'll be assaulting Fort Mercius next? That doesn't sound like the brightest idea.
That's the only one we got.
I've heard that it's built to withstand an attack from even the largest of armies. Not to tell you how to do your job, but don't do it. I'm not ready to say my final goodbyes to everyone.
Don't worry. I got this. More specifically, Lysithia's got this.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
The Alliance is just gone. It's hard to believe.
Yeah.
The merchants of Deirdre all have nerves of steel. I'm sure they'll be up and running again in no time.
Oh.
The merchants.
While I'm here, I should probably buy some more Master Seals. Well,
Is that the one?
I mean, honestly, I got the money.
Come back soon.
Felix was supposed to win us one, but that didn't happen. Okay, is that everyone? Oh, and...
Hey you, listen up. I've got something to report.
Yeah?
The Alliance is a thing of the past now.
Uh-huh.
Times are changing fast these days. It's hard to keep up, even for me.
That's fair.
I wonder if Abyss is on the verge of change too. Change leads to uncertainty, and uncertainty leads to... change? I don't know. I'm just a guard.
That's fair. Uncertainty leads to doubt. Doubt leads to fear, and then... well, we don't want that. Fear leads to recklessness, which can lead to losing the whole war. But I think we're good. I was honestly kind of hoping Hilda was here. Not gonna lie. Wait.
So the Alliance is finished, is it? The leader's gone? That damn prince. Seems my role here is at an end.
What do you mean?
No matter. Should another chance present itself, I'll take a less subtle route.
What the heck? Whoa, huh? Who the heck were you? Okay.
So, Claude abandoned the Alliance and ran off.
Well, not like that.
I have a pretty good idea of where he went. Where anyone would go in his situation. Somewhere he belongs.
Yeah.
Good question. Here's a hint. He's probably not in Fodlan anymore.
I know.
He may be gone, but he left his troubles behind. Now it's on us to clean up his mess.
Alright, it's partly our fault for attacking the man.
It's not that I don't sympathize with Lady Edelgard's goals, mind you.
Okay.
But perhaps not to the point of shedding blood for her ideals.
I'm with you.
I must keep her example in mind as I chart a new path. Peace in Fodlan and a restored House Nouvelle shall be my guiding star as I blaze my own trail.
Like, do I have to keep pointing it out? Does everyone see now why I have the mentality that I do? Like, let's assume, even if I do bring I am bringing Constance in Edelgard's route. Another thing, let me say this. If you guys weren't aware, because people watch and skip things and, you know, this, that, and the third. In fact, I'm not even sure everybody's here right now, but I am only bringing Constance, Mercedes, and Lysithea in Edelgard's route. Why? Well, one, they have the supports, from the students. I'll probably try to bring all the faculty too. Well, jury's out on that. I'll explain that at a later date, but point is, wait, what's this? Oh. Point is that I am only bringing those three for their ranks, right? Like Lysithea is the only one with a rank with Edelgard and Constance and Mercedes. Well, if you guys remember that video where I looked at it, the ranks, you know who they have a rank with. Oh, and Constance has one with Edelgard as well. So, And the other members, I'm leaving them partly because for the main fact that their homelands are against the Empire. With the Alliance members being here, like, look at what we just did. We went to the Alliance, we defended it. You know? It's... like I said before, I didn't think the Kingdom and the Alliance were truly enemies. So I'm okay with them essentially, like, deserting their hometown. But for me to have them desert to Edelgard's mission, it's like... I'm making that decision... The reason I was okay with recruiting everybody in this route now is because I have hindsight, and with that hindsight, I am choosing, I'm like, okay, Dimitri, I don't want you fighting the Golden Deer this time. So this time, let's make them allied with you. But now with the hindsight, I am saying that I don't agree with Edelgard's method, and so therefore I don't want them to be near her. Like, sure, you can say that Edelgard might convince me, and might convince everybody else. I mean, Constance is literally going to be in her route. Some things I'm just wondering, it'd be too much if they changed. Well, we'll see. We'll see. By the way, point being, if people want me to recruit everybody else for a change of heart or for a different perspective, the only one I need is Lysithea. Like I said before, I trust her opinion. If she feels differently, then perhaps the others could as well. But that would be quite a different take. As honestly, it doesn't look like there's a side now. But
we need to mop up the mess in the kingdom quickly.
Yeah.
My family lives in Vargas, as do my people. I want to avoid exposing them to danger.
Makes sense.
My mother. She's been ill for a long time now.
Oh.
Moving her away just isn't an option. So for them, more than anything, I hope we can end this swiftly and give everyone the lives they deserve.
I will, Yuri. I will. And something was weird about, why did it say I can't get, Oh! Why, that's a thing? I mean, actually, if I think about it, I haven't shown you guys, like, there was a lot of pictures that happened. Like, look at this. The dude got S rank in accident, heavy armor. Like, we got a bunch of people who are getting S ranks. And Leone, well, okay, firstly, I look at Lysithea, right? Like, that's pretty much everything she uses except her sword. Marianne. Oh, I thought Leone was higher. I guess not. It was Lysithea I was thinking of. Or maybe Happy? No, Happy doesn't even have one, which is... Well, anyways. Speaking of... Where is she? Let me go to trash first. Not that I need it. I have way more money than I know what to do with.
Everyone seems pumped about fighting the Empire at long last. Personally, I find it difficult to get excited about killing people, no matter what side they're on.
I feel that.
I'm on yours. It's that simple. If you fought alongside the Imperial Army, so would I.
Really happy. Well, Happy doesn't have strong ties. So Happy is someone I could see joining Edelgard's side. But others, it's like they make their stances so clear, so drawn in the sand. And also, it's a part of, if the Black Eagles are going to join Edelgard, I haven't seen what they think. So for me, I'm only going based off of what I've seen them do in the actual maps. It's complicated. Like I said, I shouldn't have even known that people liked Edelgard in the first place. That was the first big mess up. So now I'm feeling like I need to, instead of just playing the game normally, I shouldn't have known that. I shouldn't have known that, because the game is literally giving me nothing that would indicate. I guess last thing, I want people to remember that I've played many Fire Emblems before, like for a long time now, and Edelgard is different. So when you're wondering what I'm expecting, I'm like, well, normally Edelgard, she's the villain. Normally, empires end up being a villain, even if they were allies to begin with. There's one game in particular I'm thinking of. There is one empress that I really like, but her people ended up betraying her. Well, yeah, betraying her, and then her empire became an enemy regardless of the fact that she was leading it. And I've also played maps where we are the invading army, and in that case the leader turned out to be the final boss, even though we were related to the leader. You know, he was, well, I don't want to say that. Well, I think it'd be pretty obvious if you played that game I'm talking about, but still, most of the time, well, pretty much every time, I think there's not one I can think of where someone like Edelgard was actually still the protagonist at the end, right? And that's why I'm like, well, so going based off of that, she must be the villain, especially when they do things like with Dimitri and they realistically didn't give him the support with his team because he was going through stuff. And Dimitri's route was also kind of, well, Dimitri's route is both very close to Fire Emblem and both not at all. And then let's not forget what I actually learned in here, which seemed to imply that Edelgard's whole reason for starting the war was a lie to begin with. It's like, I have nothing. You know, I have nothing. Hopefully, I genuinely do believe that this will be the last time I speak about it in length because I feel like I shouldn't have to say anything else. For this route, all the characters that I know of disapprove her actions except for a few. Lysithea is one of those ones where she saw a possible explanation, a way out for Edelgard. Constance, well, she'd want to restore House Nouvelle. Mercedes, her brother, is there, and she's previously from the Empire. I can see reasons for all those three. But the others? Well, I actually did hear some more stuff, but I'll keep that to myself as well. Point is, right now, Dimitri wants to seek peace. I'm gonna support him in that. Simple as that. But if Edelgard, it seemed like she was gonna do some drastic stuff. And, well, you know, we'll see what happens. But until then, this has been Blade. Thank you all so much for watching. The only thing, oh, and Hilda, now that I'm speaking on it, did I get a new person or something? Or was Happy always at the bottom? As far as Hilda's role, it did make that map more interesting. But part of me does wonder if she wasn't gonna, like, so what? She's just out there, you know, in the Alliance, guarding? Part of me does want her here. So, final tally, I can't say if I'm completely for or against, unless what Annette suggested happens and she shows up for the final map against Edelgard, trying to give us some backup. Then I can say, okay, well, Hilda was clearly frequent in the game, because Judith alone was more sufficient. And I probably would have teleported over there to protect Claude regardless. So, but I do see you guys' point on why you were so adamant that I leave Hilda. On that, I will not disagree with you guys on saying that I should have left her, because she was certainly, she's got 2 maps, and 2 maps, I'm like, okay, that's a valid reason. 1 map would have been fine if that map wasn't Gronderfield. I'll say that. But yeah, I think that was a good suggestion. I'm glad that I saw it, and I mean, she's impossible to recruit in Edelgard's route, so we'll see what's up with that. But until then, this has been Blade. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.